Feel that rush, because right now, we're diving into coins most people ignore every single day. Quarters that pass through hands, pockets, and cash registers. Yet hidden among them are pieces of history, silent witnesses to decades of American life, and in rare cases, coins worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Today, we're uncovering three seemingly ordinary Washington quarters from 1977, 1987, and 1997, all struck in Denver, all in what collectors would call fine condition, but with stories, secrets, and hidden potential that could completely change how you look at your spare change forever. 1977 George Washington $quarter coin, D mint mark. The year is 1977, a time when America was finding its footing after the bicentennial celebrations, and the Washington quarter, already a familiar face since 1932, continued its quiet journey through commerce, carrying with it the enduring image of the nation's first president. This coin, struck at the Denver Mint, carries the small but powerful D mint mark just to the right of Washington's tied ponytail. That single letter tells us where it was born, but more importantly, it places this coin within a massive production run of approximately 256 million pieces, Washington Quarters Guide. At first glance, that number suggests nothing special, nothing rare, but as any seasoned collector knows, rarity is not always about how many were made, but how many survived in exceptional condition. In fine condition, this coin shows moderate wear. Washington's hair details are softened, the cheek and jawline slightly flattened, and the eagle on the reverse begins to lose feather definition. Yet, even in this worn state, it holds historical authenticity, a piece of everyday life in late 1970s America. The design itself is a masterpiece of simplicity and endurance. On the obverse, John Flanagan portrait of George Washington faces left, dignified and calm, accompanied by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. On the reverse, the heraldic eagle spreads its wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, a symbol of both strength and peace. Now here's where things become fascinating. In circulated, fine condition, a standard 1977, D quarter is typically worth only its face value, about 25 cents, coin's value. But that's only the surface of the story, because hidden among these ordinary coins are extraordinary anomalies. Mint errors are where this coin transforms from common to collectible. Off-center strikes, where the design is visibly shifted, can push values into the $20 to $200 range depending on visibility, coin identifier. Double die errors, where inscriptions like Liberty appear duplicated, can elevate value into the hundreds. And then there are the truly rare cases, coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as silver or even cent planchets, which have sold for thousands of dollars. Even subtle errors like a filled D mint mark, caused by grease-filled dies, can intrigue collectors, though many of these are common and only slightly increase value unless paired with strong eye appeal. In higher grades, the value climbs dramatically. While a fine condition coin may remain modest, uncirculated examples in MS-67 condition have reached hundreds of dollars at auction, showing how condition rarity drives demand. Collector interest in the 1977 D quarter is not driven by scarcity in general circulation, but by the hunt. It's a treasure-hunting coin. Roll searchers and enthusiasts continue to examine these quarters decades later, hoping to find that one rare error or pristine survivor. This coin represents a bridge between the silver era and modern clad coinage, composed of copper and nickel layers, weighing 5.67 grams, and designed for durability in everyday use. 1977 quarter, no mint mark. It was never meant to be rare. Yet ironically, that's exactly what makes its rare variations so exciting. 1987 George Washington $quarter coin, D mint mark. Fast forward a decade to 1987, a time of economic growth, technological change, and increasing interest in collectibles. The Washington quarter continued unchanged in design, but behind the scenes, something important was happening in the world of coin collecting. The 1987 D quarter was produced in even larger numbers than its 1977 counterpart, with a staggering mintage of over 655 million coins. That number alone places it among the more common modern quarters, and in fine condition, it behaves exactly as expected, showing we're consistent with years of circulation. Washington's portrait remains recognizable but softened, while the reverse eagle shows reduced feather detail. Yet this coin carries a subtle significance that goes beyond its appearance. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint shifted its focus toward collector products, and proof coins became more prominent. While the Denver Mint continued producing circulation strikes like this one, the collecting community began paying closer attention to quality, grading, and preservation. In terms of value, a 1987 D quarter in fine condition is typically worth face value. But again, that's only the beginning. Because like many coins of this era, the real intrigue lies in mint errors and high-grade survivors. One of the most notable errors for this year is the doubled die reverse. This phenomenon creates visible doubling in lettering, particularly around inscriptions, making it highly desirable among collectors. Die clashes, where the dies strike each other without a planchet, can leave ghostly impressions on the coin, a mistake that turns into a collectible feature. Misaligned dies and off-center strikes are also present in this series, adding to the diversity of collectible varieties. These errors, while sometimes subtle, can increase value significantly depending on severity and clarity. Unlike earlier decades, the 1987 D quarter also benefits from modern grading standards. Coins preserved in near-perfect condition are far rarer than their mintage suggests. While billions were made, very few were kept in pristine condition, and those are the ones collectors chase. Proof versions from this year, though not from Denver, demonstrate how grading affects value. High-grade proofs have sold for notable premiums, emphasizing the importance of condition across all Washington quarters. The collector interest in the 1987 D quarter is rooted in its paradox. It is both extremely common and surprisingly challenging to find in top condition. This creates a niche appeal, a coin that invites collectors to search, compare, and upgrade their collections. It's a reminder that value in numismatics is not always obvious. Sometimes, it's hidden in subtle details, a slight doubling, a shifted strike, or a nearly flawless surface that survived decades untouched. 1997 George Washington $quarter coin, D mint mark. Now we arrive at 1997, just 1 year before the launch of the iconic 50-state quarters program that would revolutionize coin collecting in America. The 1997 D quarter stands at the edge of that transformation, with a mintage of nearly 600 million coins. It represents the final phase of the traditional Washington quarter design before a new era began. In fine condition, this coin shows typical circulation wear. The design remains clear, but details are softened. It is, at first glance, an ordinary coin, one of countless quarters exchanged in daily transactions during the late 1990s. But like its predecessors, it holds hidden potential. The design remains unchanged, maintaining the classic portrait of Washington and the heraldic eagle. Yet by this time, the coin had become more than just currency. It was part of a growing hobby, with collectors increasingly aware of errors, varieties, and grading. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1997 D quarter is its error coins. Examples with missing clad layers, where the outer nickel coating is absent, reveal a copper core and can command significant premiums. In fact, such error coins have been documented and valued well above standard examples. Other errors include double strikes, rotated dies, and off-center strikes, each adding uniqueness to an otherwise common coin. These variations are what transform a 25-cent piece into a collectible artifact. Market value for a standard 1997 D quarter in fine condition remains at face value. But collectors are not just buying coins, they are buying stories, anomalies, and the thrill of discovery. This coin is particularly interesting because it sits at a historical turning point. Just 1 year later, the U.S. Mint would introduce state-themed designs, sparking a nationwide collecting phenomenon. As a result, the 1997 quarter represents the end of an era, the last of the classic Washington quarters before change arrived. Collector interest in this coin is driven by that historical context. It's not rare in numbers, but it is significant in timeline. And when combined with mint errors or exceptional preservation, it becomes far more desirable. In the world of numismatics, coins like the 1997 D quarter remind us that value is layered. It's not just about rarity or age, it's about context, condition, and the unexpected. And that's the real story behind these three coins. On the surface, they are ordinary quarters, coins you might overlook without a second thought. But beneath that surface lies a world of detail, history, and possibility, where even the smallest variation can turn spare change into something extraordinary. So the next time you hold a quarter in your hand, take a closer look. Because hidden within those everyday coins might just be a piece of history waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed discovering hidden coin treasures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a rare coin story again. Share your finds in the comments. You might be the next collector with a hidden fortune. See you in the next treasure hunt on Coins Numismatic Series.